Hello again. So this video is going to be on what is your purpose and how do you achieve your purpose. This is going to be kind of a short video. I already have my points listed in my book that I wrote down. This is something that has kind of been on my mind because this is something that I have recently discovered myself in the last, I would say, 3 months or so. Just kind of being able to sit with myself long enough and let the dust settle, so to speak, after just being on a move for a year. Um, so, figuring out what your purpose is, that journey in itself is going to look different for everybody because it just depends on how far removed you are from yourself or how deep you are in survival mode or whatever else you have going on that is not your purpose, that God has to call you back to your purpose. I call it shaking the table because that's usually when life be lifing. Um, I call it shaking the table because that's usually when God, the universe, is trying to get your attention or redirect you to the path that you are meant to be on. But as far as like identifying what that purpose is, there's a few things and patterns that I've noticed that can kind of help you identify what that is. Just based off of what I see in other people when they're telling me about their life. And then also what I have put together with my own life, figuring out what my purpose is now at 25 versus all of the things that has happened in my life prior to. So the first thing, identifying a continued theme, something that calls out to you. So I think everyone has an experience where someone has something that they're really passionate about. And usually they have this whole story about, oh, it's not going to make any money, or they have other people in their life tearing them down, like, oh, you're not going to make any money doing that, or this, nobody ever does that. I don't know why you want to do that, or it's weird, something like that. They always have some type of storyline where their heart calls out to something, and they always have somebody in their life giving them negative feedback, right? And giving them reasons not to pursue it. So usually first tell sign is that passion for it, that natural drive. I really want to do this. That's the first sign. And then also you get pushback. You get that negative feedback, like, oh, that's not going to work. It's going to take so long, blah, 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 like whatever it is. Usually that means that you're meant to do it. And then it's also a continued theme. So even when you put it down, if you have been discouraged from doing said thing, it always comes back around to you. Like no matter how far removed you've been, doesn't matter if you stopped doing said thing at 6 years old and you're like 45, you're gonna come back to this thing and be like, this is what makes me feel like I can actually get up in the morning and live for, it's one of those things. And if it's not that, there's also another thing that I have noticed as well. Typically your insecurities or things that you are bad at are the things that you are placed here on earth to perfect or learn in order to execute your said purpose. For me, I'll give an example. Something that has been a continued theme in my life is helping people. Before, I used to be like, hey, I want to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pediatrician. I love kids. Maybe I want to be a pediatrician. Like, I was always like trying to put this in some sort of way where I could help people. And I didn't understand why I wanted to help people so bad. And I won't say it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Virgo, but it kind of does, but it's not the entire thing, right? Like my purpose on earth was to help people, and I feel like I was birthed a Virgo because of that, and not the other way around. Yeah, just me wanting to help people has always been a thing in my life. That's just always been it. I just wasn't sure in what way I needed to help people. I just knew I was put on this earth to help people. And then to move it a bit further, my insecurities and things that I'm bad at. I am bad at teaching people, and well, I should speak past tense. I was bad at teaching people, and um, I can be really shy and timid, and I'm an introvert. I really like being inside. I don't like being outside. The social setting is not really for me. I'm shying away from clubs and bars and stuff like that. I kind of like intimate settings like coffee shops. I really like concerts. Now, I will say that I love concerts and live music. So if I go to a concert or something, I don't mind talking to the person next to me and like being social for the day and stuff like that. I love connecting with people in that way. Um, but yeah, otherwise, I'm really shy into myself. I really don't. I don't go out like that, and it's crazy because my purpose on earth here is to teach and speak my experiences, because somebody else has went through that same experience and they don't know how they're going to make it through, but here I am standing and still alive and have made it through said experience that they are going through right now. So that is literally my purpose in life. And I like, when I figured that out, I feel like everything in my life just clicked, like that one missing puzzle piece, and like everything just started coming together. Um, so yeah, I didn't realize that the one thing that was holding me back from getting and executing my purpose was the one thing that I just like wrote off as like a personality trait. Like, oh, I'm just naturally shy. I don't think I'm going to be a people person. I'm meant to be a people person. I'm meant to overcome, being shy and not being as extroverted or social, so that I can connect with people and making these connections, learn from people, and also teach. Um, and I say, teaching, I was bad at teaching because I just felt like the way that I communicated things, it just wasn't received well. But again, that is something that I will continue to work on and have been working on. Hence why I always have my book. Like before I even, make a video, I am always, writing down the title of it, figuring out what points I want to hit, and then, giving my examples. I'm basically making an outline just so it can make sense to other people. And that has been working. So yeah, those are like the two signs that you can kind of like figure out like the themes in your life and figure out what exactly it is that is your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, I feel like that's a good starting point. I do feel like at some point I probably will come back and maybe give a little bit more details as I learn. But for right now, those are like the biggest two tell signs that, something is your purpose. And how to get to your purpose. So this is the next part. How to get to your purpose, or how to execute your purpose. The first thing you need to do is clear your mind. Again, I'm going to continue to reference my own experiences because we are all having our own unique experiences. They will be similar in some ways, but they're not going to be exact. So please, take what resonates and see where it can fit into your life or maybe somebody else's. But, it's not supposed to be the same. So the first thing I always recommend is clearing your mind. You cannot manifest anything in chaos. When your nervous system is not regulated, when you're in survival mode, when you're panicking, when you're stressed, you are only going to manifest more disaster and more chaos. The same way when you get a stress pimple and then you start stressing about that pimple and you get more stress pimples, it's the same shit. Like you're only going to breed more chaos when you're in chaos. So even if you're not really in a position where you can just take off of work or take away from whatever is stressing you at the moment, find peace within yourself. So this can look like meditating, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you feel like you have a lot to do and you don't have the time to meditate, 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes. At the end of the day, beginning of the day, just wake up a little bit earlier and just have 5 minutes to yourself. Even if those 5 minutes to yourself, your thoughts are still racing, whatever it is, you feel like you can't just like sit in the moment for those 5 minutes, still Just take the 5 minutes, because those 5 minutes are yours. So eventually your body will regulate in those 5 minutes, and then you'll come to a place where previously you were thinking and you couldn't really relax and all this stuff. It was so erratic. And then you'll get to the place where you can actually sit in those 5 minutes and actually be at peace. Um, and the next thing is getting close to God. So you can't hear any messages or receive any type of downloads or guidance when you have too much chatter in your ear, even if it's your own. So sometimes this might look like um, isolation, honestly. God might be redirecting and rearranging things in your life that make you feel alone during this process. So I probably should put this disclaimer in front, honestly, that if you are looking for your purpose and searching for your purpose, this is a lonely road. Like, you're going to have to do this alone. Because your purpose is your purpose alone. It's not going to be anybody else's. Now, you might find people along the way to help and guide you through this, and you might find like-minded individuals who probably are executing the same purpose, but it's kind of like a ladder. Like, it's like steps that you go up, and you might meet people at different places in their life or in their stage of finding their purpose, until you get to the top and you find, at the top of the mountain, and there's a whole bunch of people up there that had to go through the same thing you did. But yeah, just getting close to God, having a relationship with God is really, really important in finding your purpose. Because you will start to feel like that things are happening to you instead of for you. And that is honestly a dangerous place to be in, because I have been there many, many times. Just getting really tired and weary of trying to figure things out, and just instead of just going with the flow of how life is supposed to be, have a relationship with God. Next thing I will say is create a plan. Once you have gotten to the place where you can clear your mind, you've gotten that relationship, and you kind of have an idea of what your purpose is, I feel like you can get a plan on how to do it. So again, example, myself, my purpose is to teach people, just getting used to things that I don't normally do. So going out by myself, that was something that I just really wasn't interested in doing. I wasn't interested in going out at all. That's just me. But I mean, I am now getting comfortable with the idea of going out by myself and just meeting new people while I'm out. Again, I wasn't the type to want to make new friends. But honestly, I really enjoy speaking to people now and talking to people and hearing their stories, because everybody else's life is just as complex as your own. You can feel like you're alone. You can feel like you're the only one going through crap, and everybody else on social media is just having the time of their lives. But honestly, it's not like that for everybody. Like, there's somebody out there that's going through shit the same way that you are. So, yeah, just create a plan on how you're going to sharpen your skills for your purpose, or get exposed to learning things for your purpose. This is not something that you have to do all in one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Just over time, just get more comfortable in embracing the things that you have once shied away from, and the rest will come to you naturally. Um, and then the next thing is discipline. Discipline is really important to have a routine. For me, having a routine is kind of difficult, because I don't like things to be too redundant, but I also do like a good plan. So for me, I have something what is called structured chaos. I plan out everything that I need to get done for a day. I'll kind of schedule in things that need to get done to the T, like 100% at specific times. Like, those are just fixed things in my schedule that can't be changed. And then I'll have like little things that I can plan myself. So it's like I still have a hand in how things are moved around. And if things need to be moved around on a day-to-day basis, I can do that. But still there is a baseline, there's a foundation set already. So I'm just not scrambling the day of. Um, that's really important. When you are trying to um, work towards anything, not even just, finding your purpose or finding who you are in life, and um, just getting anywhere, it really does require discipline. You need to wake up every day and show up for yourself. And I feel like it's, the habits that you create, they're going to spill over into other avenues of your life. So the same way that you get up and you get your coffee, your tea, or your morning breakfast, and then you go to that 9 to 5, you need to have that same discipline with yourself. Outside of that, you need to be like, okay, I'm gonna work this 9 to 5, and then I'm gonna take a break for an hour and a half, get my mind right. My hour and a half, get my mind right, and then proceed to, move forward with what I'm pouring into myself for. Make that content, make that YouTube video, continue writing the pages in that book, practice on that piano, learn how to play the guitar, like whatever it is that has been calling you and calling you and calling you and calling you, do it. Set time aside to do it. And it's going to be hard at first. It's going to be really hard. This is not something that is going to just be like, oh, this comes so naturally. No, it's going to be maybe something that, is a natural talent, I would say. But it is going to take some fine tuning. It's going to take some work to get to the place where you are meant to be, your highest self, your highest version of yourself. So, yeah, that is what I have to say on that, as far as what finding out what your purpose is and how to get to your purpose. Again, y'all can sound off in the comments, figuring out, what it is that you're trying to work through in this time that you're in. I personally feel like everybody is taking that leap of faith and kind of doing this shift. And depending on when you're watching this video, it's October 23 right now. And we just had a full moon in Aries, and that shit was intense. Like, that shit was really heavy. But I think it fired a lot of us up. So no matter when you're watching this video, whatever it is that is calling you, answer. But yeah, that is all I have for you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Sound off in the comments. Like, what are y'all trying to figure out? Like, what are you navigating through? Did this help? Encourage each other. Be positive. And feel free to follow me on my other social media accounts. My Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's all the same. I will add those in the description box. Stay tuned for my services as they come. I also do have a lot of fun things coming soon that I'm working on my own. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye.